The term gator trout really varies in description from zone to zone. If you're on the east coast of Florida, a gator trout might be a trout that weighs over 5 or 6 pounds. If you're in the Atlantic coast area from the Carolinas north to Chesapeake, it may be a trout that is in the 3.5 to 4 pound range. If you're on the Gulf Coast, the Gulf of Mexico, likely between here and Louisiana, we like to consider gator trout anything that's over about 22.5 to 23 inches long, and that's probably going to be about a 3.5 to 4 pound fish. But the possibility of catching fish that are 7 or 8 pounds looms large in many of these zones. And then once you get to Texas, they've done such a good job out there. Gator trout are typically any trout that's over 5, 6, 7 pounds is what they qualify their gator trout at. But for this particular course, we're going to talk about an area that I grew up in, I'm very familiar with, and that's Tampa Bay. It's a big estuary, and the time of year that we focus here is anywhere from late November to early to mid-April, depending upon how temperate or how extreme the winter conditions get. Now, how do you narrow those zones down that you would fish that time of year? Well, it really depends on water temperature. Water temperature depicts where these fish will want to set up. The nice thing about fishing the cooler months as opposed to the warmer months is the fish like to have a deep water refuge that's very close, I mean very close, to these skinny water flats. So out here I've got a flat that's about a foot deep on a mean low water, like in between tide. And then I've got all these deeper residential canals where there's trawlers and sailboats and things like that that would tell you that the water's going to be 8, 10, sometimes 12 feet deep. So the proximity of the shallow water to the deeper water, very important, is super important. On the coldest days, you're going to fish these residential canals. And on the warm-ups, post